Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking a look at a Porsche 944. It's approximately about almost 3 o'clock in the morning and the car is it's about 6 hours away from where I live, so I'm going to drive out there. Talked with the owner already, seems like a pretty good car, pretty straightforward if everything he says is true. So just going to go over with the trailer because I'm pretty set on buying this car, and what if all the major stuff that he talks about is the stuff I would need to replace anyway, so it's already been done. A lot of gaskets, seals, and belts, just general maintenance. The car was from Alberta, and the guy moved to Ontario about a year ago. He never registered it locally here, so it sat in his garage for about a year, but he did say he just took it for a small drive around the block just to keep the car going every few months. So if everything checks out, I should have a 944 by the end of this, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna head out now since it's a 6-hour drive. I'll bring you guys along with me and we'll see how it goes. Alright, we're outside now. I'm gonna be towing with the Jeep today with the rental auto transporter from U-Haul there. So let's get on our way and enjoy that 6-hour drive back and forth. Great. Oh, jeez. Whoa. Alright, just pulled in the gas station to get some gas. Because gas stations are kind of separated a bit further since it's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, weather's -1. What's lucky other than the weather, apparently it's supposed to rain a bit later in the afternoon on the way back, so that's not too great considering the owner just cleaned up the car yesterday. Or actually, yeah, yesterday, I guess. Yeah, so he'll probably be dirty on the way back from all the shit spraying everywhere, but yeah, I'll clean it up, that's fine, no big deal. Yeah, well, we'll be back on the way. Alright, just arrived at the seller's house, so I'm gonna go see him and check out the car, see if it's as he said and everything checks out, how everything goes like that. Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes after I come back. So I talked with the owner and found some other small things around the car, so I haggled the price down a bit more. Got to somewhere where I can work with. Has some leaks on the transmission and here and there on the engine to fix. It's probably just little seals has to go. Turns out he replaced the belts probably 4 years ago and just haven't really. He only took it out 3 or 4 times a year, he said, when he had a car out on the road. But still, 4 years usually they say you should replace it because the belts get brittle, etc. So this is an interference motor, so I just want to be safe, so I'll probably just do that anyways. So the car is back on the trailer now and I'm just heading back home. It's currently raining, like I said now. Hey everyone, so it's been a few days since I got the 944 back home now, and I took a look through it and we needed some parts, so I ordered some parts, shipped it to the border because shipping was across to Canada was really expensive. So it's worth the trip for me to go down there since it's only like approximately 40-50 minute drive. So it's not too bad. So we'll be on our way, taking the S5 today. It's a pretty good day, still pretty cold, so can't take the top down. It's still like around 5 degrees Celsius. So yeah, we'll be on our way. Alright, let's go. Hey guys, so we're back from the border now. I laid out everything I purchased, so I'll just go over and show everything to you guys. Alright, first things first, we have a clear round head unit. M508 is the model number. I saw this on the smoking tire. Matt Farah posted a $20 discount code on it, so I picked it up. I was planning to get this in the first place, so might as well get it since there's some discount on it. Next thing, this hose, this braided hose, it goes from the brake fluid reservoir to the master cylinder. The old hose that was on the car is pretty old. Yeah, I found out it was too short after I put a new reservoir in the car. The previous owner said his mechanic broke the nipple that comes out that connects this hose to the master cylinder, and he tried to use epoxy glue to put it back together, which failed miserably. So there's some glue and gunk left over on this hose, so I decided to replace it anyways just to get it working. Plus it was too short, so I couldn't use it anyways. Alright, next on the list is cup holders. Car never had cup holders, so yeah, that's just something of a convenience. Okay, next we have this is a interior shift boot. The car originally has a rubber interior shift boot, but I got this leather one. The rubber one, after wear and tear, it usually has holes in it, and people have said that exhaust fluid, exhaust fumes and stuff usually rises up through there and stinks up the whole cabin. So got a leather one just to replace that, and also got a leather one to replace the exterior, the shift boot that you normally see in the car when you get in. Old one was cracked up like old leather usually do. So yeah. Next we have a throttle response, like a better response cam. So this was pretty cheap. Don't know how well it works, but apparently it's supposed to give a more linear throttle response. So it was only 20-30 bucks, so I got it just for shits and giggles. Alright, next on the list we have a shift lever. This is a aftermarket shift lever made by a company called Only 944. They put in these thrust bearings in here to limit the lateral play on the thing. Usually the center part gets worn out, so it pivots and it's really loose how it feels right now. So hopefully this will make it feel a tad bit better. Later on I'll probably do a short shifter and the linkages underneath. That will probably fix up a lot more of the other play on it. These two are the glove box hinges. My car currently doesn't have any, so when you open it up it just flops down, and it's just something nice to have. Next, big things. Alright, we got some replacement suspensions for the suspension parts for the front, because the front on the tires, right on the front end, is kind of just shot. So I want also to do a bit of an upgrade to the existing stuff. So I went to a website called Paragon Products and talked to the service reps there, and they suggest that this would work on the car. Apparently the suspension on the 944 here has a basically a outer sleeve, and the struts, they slide into the basically suspension, and is replaceable. So I just got two new Coney struts here, and cool thing is they also had a coil over sleeve for it. So what we have here is, so these are usually threads that you would like change the height of your coilover suspension, and that'll slide over the existing mount on the car. So this just slides over. We got this to adjust the height of the springs. That would be the lower spring perch, and this is the upper spring perch up here. And picked up some new coils over here as well. Alright, show you guys this. They're made by Hypercoil. Decided to do 250 spring rate. So these are the new springs for it. Shocks, and yeah, that's pretty much most of it. And here's the bump stops that will fit on these struts here. Alright, that's pretty much everything. Alright, have a good day, guys. Hey guys, so I've been working on my Porsche 944 here, fixing up some stuff here and there that had the issues. Still waiting for some parts to come in, but I'll show you guys around the car just to see what I've done and things I found along the way and things I'm replacing. Alright, let's go. Okay, so first thing that I worked on the car. So the original owner already told me that this was an issue, so I went ahead and bought the parts and replaced this brake fluid reservoir, because the clutch system also feeds off the brake fluid, and there was a crack here on this connector that the hose goes into. The previous owner's mechanic had to try to pretty much glue it together with the compound glue or something. So I went ahead and replaced that, and also the hose here, as it had a bunch of glue stuck to it, which wasn't great. So after I had that done, the clutch was working, but after I parked a few days, the clutch pedal hit the floor again. So something else was causing a leak down there. So I went down to the bottom, took out the slave cylinder, and had a look. I have it here. I'll show you guys. Okay, so this is the slave cylinder here that goes. Basically, this part will push a lever that will disengage the clutch. And the boot here actually had a few holes in it, so it was actually leaking from the inside the bell housing. There's a little inspection hole in the bottom. It was dripping out the fluid, so it was pretty obvious it was from this side. So I had that done. So I ordered a new part, new clutch slave cylinder, and that should be in here next week, and I'll have it installed. Next thing I did was on the inside of the car, over here. So I removed the shifter boot, and as I got in that new one from that site, and I have it installed here. So I think it looks a lot better now. Newer leather, a lot more plush. Also did the inner boot in there, made out of leather instead of the rubber material originally it was. As the rubber material wears out after time, it had holes. The old one had a few holes in it, so this should last a bit longer. And after that, I replaced the shift lever there. So this is the new lever I got with the lateral thrust bearings inside there. So there's actually already, I haven't tightened it down yet, but there's already a lot less lateral play in it. So that's great. Took the aftermarket head unit that the previous owner had in there. And notice the original harness has been chopped off, so everything's crimped in there. So I had to kind of dig through the wires, see what they are before I connect in my new one. I kind of want to make it neat, so I'll probably get a electrical automotive plug and wire those up like that, like a harness, just to make it look a bit tidier. The gauges there, I'm going to be replacing the lights inside with some LEDs, so they'll be a bit more brighter, because the OEM yellow lights, they're kind of dim in the dark really. And oh yeah, the center console here, I will be redoing it at one point. I was contemplating on getting the one that just has the bottom piece here and just sits flush like this, but I after sitting in a while, I actually do really like extra height, even though just a tiny bit, that this armrest gives you when you're shifting gears and just want to rest your elbow here. It actually does a good job. I'll probably be redoing this leather here too, as they patched up the corner and it just has a stitching going across it, which doesn't look too great. So that'll be redone. I got a whole piece, the whole center console piece here I'll be replacing because I got a good deal on it. That came with this trim piece, which is cracked up there around the top there. And the original owner had actually broken some parts on here and here. They had broken like the front corners off in the front, so both sides like this, so it's broken off. And they had to drill some holes on the side. Maybe they had a cup holder or something in there before, but it's just 3-4 holes on that side. So just to make it look cleaner, I had a new one coming in, or a used new one. All right, next thing I've been working on, as you can see on the floor here, is the suspension. This car came with basically all 4 corners of the suspension blown, so I had to replace them all. Pretty straightforward. 4 nuts on top, 2 bolts and on the bottom, and it just came right out. So the way that the 944 suspension works here, so the strut here, this is actually the strut is inside this enclosure actually. There's a cap here that you can unscrew. After you screw, you can pull the old strut out. Then you can put in your new strut. So I showed you I showed you the strut I got. So I got these Coney struts that will be fitted inside, along with new springs, and basically got a sleeve for the make it a coil over system. So I'll be putting that on. And that's pretty much where I'm at currently. Oh yeah, I also got these quick jacks. They're really convenient, as they lift up the car quite considerably. Probably, I don't know, half a meter and a bit. So it's been great getting down there for getting the slave cylinder and stuff out. So that's pretty much where I'm at with the car. And yeah, I'll update you guys a bit later on the stuff I complete or after I get these things finished. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.